To the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, where House Republicans rejected their own funding bill late yesterday, with a potential government shutdown looming at the end of the month. Now, the rejection was an embarrassing setback for House Speaker Mike Johnson, coming after he tried to tie the funding bill to Trump-backed legislation on immigrants and voting. Despite the defeat, Johnson says he remains confident the government will not shut down at the end of the month. Look.
But look, I don't think it's going to come to a shutdown. I believe we can get this job done. Like I said, we go back to the playbook. We have time. We have time to get it done, and we will. We're going to deliver for the American people.
NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapur joins me now from Capitol Hill. So, Sahil, what is Speaker Johnson's next move? Can he avert a shutdown? He seemed pretty confident there.
There are 11 days to go before funding runs out, before the government shuts down, and Speaker Johnson still has not said what his plan B is after his plan A. That 6-month stopgap bill attached to the SAVE Act failed yesterday. Our team caught up with him on Capitol Hill during this House vote just moments ago, and he said only stay tuned. He said they're still having conversations. The clock is ticking, and Johnson has not yet announced what he's going to do next. Now, we do know in the other chamber, in the Senate, the Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who is of course a Democrat, has begun the process of having the Senate vote on a stopgap funding bill itself. In other words, House is flailing. The Senate seems to be stepping in here to try to move forward on a government funding bill. That would take some time. The Senate needs several days to get through this process, and it's still unclear what exactly that's going to look like, Kristen. But when I asked lawmakers in the House and the Senate, the broad expectation of many is that it's going to be a 3-month stopgap bill that gets into December, so Congress can try to wrap this up by the end of the year, not only because Democrats want that, but also some military hawks on the Republican side don't want to wait till March before the military can get a raise.
And I mean, Sahil, if the government were to shut down, it would be right before Election Day. How much pressure is there building on Republicans to get this done?
A lot of pressure. The nervousness is certainly creeping up among Republicans, especially those GOP members in swing districts. I've talked to several of them in the last few days. They all say they want to avoid a shutdown. One of them, Don Bacon over in Omaha, Nebraska, a very competitive district, said a shutdown would be bad governance, bad politics. They're waiting to see what Speaker Johnson does. And on the Senate side, there's Mitch McConnell, the outgoing minority leader who's seen many shutdowns, who understands the politics of shutdowns very well, and who typically gets blamed for them. Take a listen to what he said.
My only observation about this whole discussion is the one thing you cannot have is a government shutdown. It would be politically beyond stupid for us to do that right before the election, because certainly we'd get the blame.
That's a common view among Republicans, Kristen. The big obstacle here, of course, is Donald Trump, who is mounting the pressure on Speaker Johnson to hold firm and to shut down the government if Democrats don't acquiesce to the SAVE Act. Somebody's got to blink here, or we're headed for a shutdown.
Okay, well, the clock is ticking. Sahil, I know you'll be covering every single minute of this. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.